5 years ago, this Ecowagon campervan left the workshop at just over £95,000, and now for the first time it's come to the used market. I'm at the end of Britain, literally the most westerly campsite which you can get to. I'm going to be spending the night in this beauty to find out whether it justifies the price tag which it carries today. We'll take a look through the full spec, the full features on it, and believe me, this does have a lot. Let's first of all add a little bit of context to who Ecowagon actually are. Now, Ecowagon, very well known in the industry. They build extremely high quality campervans, and believe me, the owner of the company is extremely picky when it comes to the finer detail. Everything has to be absolutely spot on, and that's what these vans are. This one is the Expo Plus, and the Expo Plus is pretty much the best of the best conversion which they do. All the components are extremely high end, which we will go into, including this pop top, a Reimo electric pop top. Inside it's got lithium ion batteries, lithium ion phosphate batteries, and bearing in mind this van was new in 2020, so that's 6 years ago when lithium ion phosphate wasn't as widely seen in campervans. It's got VB air suspension, self-leveling suspension, and when I park it properly I'll get that all leveled out, so I do have a level night tonight. It's very rare that these vans actually come to the market, because you tend to find people who buy the Ecowagons, they spec them up themselves, they build them up with all the quality components, and then they tend to keep them. So the fact that this has come to the market is rather special in itself, and I am very, very lucky, not just to actually be able to talk about it, but to be able to spend the night in it, actually sleep in this campervan, especially in this beautiful location. There's a place which I want to go to, and I've wanted to go to for a while, and I'm going to be going there tomorrow, and hopefully the weather's going to be a little bit better than it is today. But you don't find out about a campervan like this by just chucking it in a field or putting it in a car park and talking about it. The real way of finding out how good these campervans are is spending time with them, spending the night in them, seeing how they cope with the day-to-day life. First of all, we might find out how that pop top copes in this wind. Now, I want to get off to the first and last, because yes, I am at Land's End, and the pub, Sennen, the first and last, is just up there, and that's got some stories to it in itself. I'll just give you a very, very brief view of this van. So externally, you can see it's got a body kit, VB air suspension, LED headlights. We've got the electric Reimo pop top. You can see we've got this trapezoid sidebar down the side. Inside, we've got the full camper conversion. We've got a 2-burner hob. We've got a lithium ion phosphate battery. We've got California seats. We've got a California bed. Let's find out how all that, and the diesel heater, although I might not put that on tonight, is that lithium ion battery. 5 years old now. How will that cope running that fridge? Could have put some things in that fridge ready for the morning. So we're going to find out tomorrow morning how all that's done and what kind of sleep I'm going to get in it. So yes, I'm off to the pub now, but do join me in the morning to find out how this has coped. So you join me on the following morning. I've just slept in the van, and as you might be able to hear, it is still a tad windy, and I did decide that I was going to sleep in the pop top. Last night I went to the first and last pub, had some tea there, steak and ale pie, absolutely beautiful. Slept, kind of, last night. Got up this morning, had a shower in the fantastic tower block which you've got here. So this is Land's End Camping and Glamping. Absolutely bargain. I think it was 15 quid for the night, just one person in a camper van, no electric. I think if I wanted electric it was going to be 21 quid. But yeah, absolutely fantastic site. Beautiful views which I've woken up this morning. I'll overlay some pictures of what the sunrise looked like. But yeah, so I had a night in here. So Reimo pop top. So this is the electric Reimo pop top. So yeah, rather a lot of money. Probably one of the most expensive, well, I think it is the most expensive pop top which you can buy. Obviously fully crash tested. Electric, as you can see by this here. You've got the required vent at the top. You've got these opening windows. This is mesh, which is very, very fine mesh, so it doesn't let the midges in. And then you've got a window at the front, which you can see out of, and then you've got the same on that side. And this can also be, it must be down this side, this can also, mesh can also be completely opened up. And you can remove that as well if you want total fresh air. It's actually amazing really how much of a difference it makes just actually opening that, because it is open, you can see the light, but when you actually remove that, it does let more wind in, so it just does actually show how much protection that is giving you for the midges which are coming in here. So this is a sprung bed, so sprung, and then you've got this mattress on top. Again, like I'm always saying, you'd want to be sleeping in as much comfort as you possibly can. So this sprung bed with a mattress on top, and you can just close it down and everything's here. Obviously a duvet as well. Didn't bring my duvet this time, just had the passenger blanket and sleeping bag. And yeah, it's a fantastic pop top electric. I'll show you it opening as I opened it last night as it was going dark. But yeah, really nice, comfortable bed. And if it wasn't for the wind, I'd have slept really well. But yeah, up here we've got a LED reading light, so you can turn that on and you'll be able to see what you're doing, as I used last night. You've got USB chargers there. You've also got a wireless pad over there, a wireless charging pad over there. And then you've got these grab handles here. And one of the other benefits about the Reimo is it's got the kind of the clasp. So once you've actually put it down by using the electric, it kind of locks in place by using the, well, what looks like a seatbelt anchorage. So yes, so this is the pop top. Don't often start upstairs, but yeah, let's get downstairs and have a look at the rest of it. So downstairs then in this camper van, and we have the Ecowagon Expo Plus. Long-term viewers of the channel will have seen similar variants of this before. So inside this one we have these blue units with the Fortana red outside, and I actually quite like that. I know that colour choices can be very, very personal preference, but yeah, I do actually quite like that blue. So the typical fantastic units which Ecowagon do, so small little details such as the curvature which you've got here, which is followed through with this Tambour door. Come back to that in a minute. And this comes all the way across, and then some more curvature at the side of that there, and also with the same with this fantastic work surface, which again does curve at the ends there. I think this is just really, really nice cabinetry. Looks very good, and certainly does the job as far as the storage and things like that's concerned. So you've got these drawers here, so drawers with soft close, and then those catches, and those catches really catch and hook on, which I've talked about many times before. Slightly bigger drawer there, soft close again, another pull-out drawer here, and then you've got this cupboard in here. So inside this cupboard you've got a drop-out vent down there, and then you've also got a few of the electrical controls, and you can just see some of the gas piping at the back of there as well. So gas piping, because this has got gas, so we've got a 2-burner Dometic hob up top here, and then we've also got the sink as well. So obviously water to be able to actually wash your pots and pans afterwards, fill up your kettle, things such as that. And then obviously your gas burners, so you can cook your food or whatever you want to do, whether it's boiling water or anything like that. You've got the heating appliances there. So underslung gas tank on this one, and I'll show you where you can actually fill that up when we go outside the van again in a moment. As far as heating is concerned, this has got the Eberspacher, well, you know, whatever you want to call it, heating system there. I did put that on last night, and that purely really only put that on, obviously was sleeping in the pop top. I just put that on for a few hours just so I could see kind of that drain of fuel and things like that, just to see how it was, because like I said last night, this is now a 5-year-old van. Although I'll come on to the mileage in a minute. It's not got the mileage of a 5-year-old van, but obviously batteries and things like that over time, they obviously deplete. So yeah, so I did a bit of a test last night. It was 100% when I went to bed. When I came down this morning, it was 76% battery left. Now, what I'd been doing, I'd been charging the laptop, I'd been charging the iPad, I'd charged my phone, I'd charged my watch. Obviously the diesel heater was on, we've got the fridge, and I actually set the fridge to the maximum setting, and I might have removed the freezer compartment, so everything in the fridge actually froze, which is rather interesting. When I wanted my iced coffee this morning, didn't expect it to actually be properly iced, but there you go, it was. So using all that power, it took it down to, like I said, 76%. But this has got a solar panel on the roof. I think it's 150 watt solar power. So 150 watt solar power, 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, and now it's actually up to 82%. Now the solar panel is pointing that way, the sun is over that way, so it's not direct, but yet it is currently pulling in 6.6 amps from the sun, and it is only 20 past 9 in the morning. So yeah, so very early in the morning, the sun's obviously nowhere near at its highest point or anything, and yeah, it's managing to pull in 6.7 now, and I did actually check that probably about half an hour ago, and it was only pulling in 2.1 or so. So yeah, as that sun is getting stronger, the actual pull which is coming from those solar panels is also getting stronger. So I'm really quite impressed with that, because like I said, that battery is 5 years old, and it just goes to show that the longevity of these batteries, the lithium iron phosphate batteries, you know, is very good. So yes, first test has passed, but that's not the party trick of this van. I'll come back onto that in a moment. So just moving further around, I'll come back to the fridge in a minute. We've got this Tambour door. So Tambour door pulls around. You've got these storage shelves up here. You've got another storage shelf here which pulls down, and you can have that there, or you can have that up, and then you can have this big storage area here. Great big cupboard, goes all the way back there. And then if you pop that up, we can see that we've got the lithium iron phosphate battery in there, and a few of the electrical bits and pieces as well. And then on this side, we've got some control panels for lights and bits and pieces such as that. And talking about the lights, this is fitted with lots of lighting. We've got LED strip lights all over the place, above the units, under the units, along the side here. We've got some spotlights. We've got spotlights up in the roof. There's literally lights in quite a lot of places, and it's all controlled by remote control, which is interesting. So yeah, press the button and you can have various different settings on there. So yeah, so that's the basic control panel there for turning bits and pieces on and off. We've got because it is gas, we've got the gas monitor here, so you can actually see how much gas is actually on the onboard tank, and we can see that it is completely full. So we've got control panel up here. Now in later times, Ecowagon did move on to the Marine control panel. You've got to remember that this is 5 or 6 years old now. So this is the Voltronic panel, and as I've already been touching it, you can see how many amp hours are in the battery, percentage of the battery, what voltage of the battery is, you know, what the charge coming into the battery is, and then these symbols here as to what's going on, and controls to be turning on and off water pumps and solar and bits and pieces like that. So a very really quite simplistic, easy to use control panel. Still onto the electrics, we've got USB ports here. So these are USB A's. They can be upgraded to USB C's, and I'm sure Ecowagon will be able to do that if that's something which you wanted to do if you did buy this van. 12 volt power socket, which is 6 amp, 240 volt socket. Now that is actually powered by an inverter. So the van's fitted with an inverter. So I have actually used that socket this morning. I may or may not have used it for a hairdryer, although I didn't use it for too long because it's too windy. There's no point trying to do my hair. So, but yeah, so that's powered by an inverter. I think it's 2000 watt inverter, so it's going to be capable for powering most of your appliances. That in conjunction with a 100 amp hour battery, solar panel on the roof, should certainly keep you going. And like I say, 82% battery, so that has gone up. Down here we've got a wireless phone charger again, so we've got wireless charger here, you've got the wireless charger up there, USB A's here, USB A's up there, USB C at the front because this is the T6.1, which we'll come on to in a moment. Plenty more storage above, so these storage here, so these shelves completely drop down, and then you've got the flat access into that. And like I've said previously, in a camper van of this size, you're stood up, so you're actually coming down on it there, so they are deemed to be the best ones, whereas on kind of motorhomes and caravans and things like that, they're kind of above that eye level, so they open that way, so you can access them that way. But with this being a T6.1 medium camper van, or small as some might say, drop down that way for the easy access. And you will also notice we've got one here as well, so this one operates in exactly the same way, drops down, and you can store your bits and pieces in there. 2 rear speakers. So obviously we've got the, well, I'll come on to that. We've got the infotainment system at the front there, and we've got some speakers here just to help to improve the audio. Another 240 volt here, 12 volt socket as well, USB A's, and then coming on to the windows. So windows, we've got the tailgate. This is the tailgate model, and here we've got the blinds. So as we can see, as I'm just sat next to this one, I might as well just do this one. You can lift that up, and we've got the blind there, which is the blackout blind. So obviously when you're asleep, when you're at night, or you want to kind of be blocking out anybody from looking inside your van, you've got that for some privacy. Or we've got drop it down, and you've got some more fly screen, and then you can hear that. It fastens together with magnets. So you can have it half and half, and it's just fastened together there with magnets. So you've got those either side. You've got them on the sliding door, you've got them in the tailgate, and this rear quarter panel here as well, and more lights. But we haven't just got the bed up top, have we? We've also got a bed downstairs as well. Now, so when we're talking about values in camper vans, and when we're looking at specific components and what's kind of high end and what's not, like this bed, this is fitted with the Reimo pop top, the electric Reimo pop top, which is a lot of money. You know, I think it's about £8,000 for that electric variant. And then this bed, this is a California bed, the Volkswagen California bed. So Ecowagon actually buy these, and they can fit them into the T6.1s and the T6s, which they did previously. And it's on the rail system, so the bed can slide. So we can lift that up and slide it. And then you can see my ugly mug a little bit closer to you. So obviously what that's done there, slide the bed forward, so we've now got a lot more storage area behind. So if you're bringing your items, you want to be bringing your passengers close to the front. We can easily do so on the rail, which does slide very easily, and you've got that huge, great luggage space behind. But obviously, it's not just a seat, it is also a bed as well. So just pop it back a little bit. Before I go into the bed, we've got this here. So this is the storage underneath the bed. So plenty of storage under there. You can be storing any items which you want. So just more storage. So although it's a T6.1, it's trying to maximize the storage as much as it possibly can. So this pulls out into a bed. So we can pop that down. I've not done the bit at the back. Need to do the bit at the back. Pull out the cushions at the back, and then that'll lie down flat, and then you can actually have a bed, and you can move that forward and back. So that's the sleeping. So coming onto the fridge, so we've got this fridge. What on earth is that about? The fridge opens at this side. Now, I have always said, if you've watched my videos in the past, you've always said, that's one of my bugbears. It's not a major problem. I know it's not a major problem. But yes, I do prefer it when you pull the handle here, the fridge opens, because you're cooking here, so opening that way. But yeah, so this fridge opens this way, but it does swing all the way around. So in absolute fairness to this particular fridge, they don't all do this, so this is something that if it does open that way, you do need to obviously still take note, but it does open that way, and it does open all the way around. So as far as this fridge is concerned, I will excuse it because it does open all the way around. But also the argument is, well, it's easy for people who are sat in the front to easily access drinks from the fridge whilst they're driving along. Is that a fair comment? Not too sure. But yes, so the fridge does open that way. So yeah, so you've got the fridge down the bottom, and then you've got the freezer compartment at the top. And like I said, I've only just actually put that back in. I wanted everything to be really cool, so I did that, and also test out the battery, which it has passed with flying colours. So that is general the inside of the camper van. It's now gone up to 83%. So let's have a look around the back, let's have a look around the outside, and I'll show you this van's party trick. Just actually jumping back in the van because I completely forgot about the front. And so we've got it's T6.1, so we've got T6.1 seats, which have been reupholstered in this lovely leather, and a special detail panel in the middle, which I believe was extremely expensive to do. twin armrests, twin adjustable armrests as the T6.1s have. You see, it needs adjustment because they're not actually level. As you can see from that one, it is a swivel seat, and both of these seats do swivel. You can see you've got the diesel heater outlet there, and then in the front, standard T6.1 interior steering wheel, but you've got the bigger display unit, the bigger infotainment system. Factory heated seats, which is a fantastic bonus, fantastic addition when you're buying a van like this, which you're going to be using a lot, especially in the winter as well. Heated seats are brilliant, and it's got the DSG gearbox with the sport mode. Obviously climate control. It's like I've said, standard steering wheel as far as the T6.1s are concerned, but over that side, down there, it's got a special feature. What I think is its party piece, or one of its party pieces. It's actually got quite a few party pieces, hasn't it? Yeah, this van is special, so we will go out there when we've been out around the back. So, tailgate model. We've had a bit of a sandstorm. They actually valeted the van before I actually picked it up, but the sandstorm has just completely messed that up. Not my fault, not their fault. Anyway, storage in here. Well, first of all, you can see that we've got the bed, which is back all the way back now. This is the bed cushion, the cushions which are mentioned inside. Storage under here. You can also store things on top as well. We've got the storage over this side. I'll just come around this side to protect me from the wind. We've got some storage here, which does open both ways, and that's a separate unit to the one which is inside. And then you've got some more storage down here, and you can see as we go in here, this is the bottom. When I lifted the tray up inside, that's the bottom of that, so you can see the inverter, you can see the battery. You've got your wheel jack, emergency triangle, and bits and pieces in there, so a little bit more storage for you to be storing things in there. Right, let's have a walk around the outside of the van, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. So we just have a wander around. We might as well start here where we've just finished with that. So Ecowagon Expo Plus, and as I mentioned, inside the actual gas filler. So what we've got here, we've got the gas filler, so you can fill your gas here. There's also an external point, so you can be fitting your barbecue there, which is absolutely perfect for vehicles like this. You've also got your shower as well. So your shower plugs into the back of that, and then you've got a cold shower on this one. You can obviously upgrade with this day and age to actually the warm showers, the hot showers, which are perfect, and you'll be able to do that. This is also where you fill up your water as well. It's a really, really clever system. This vehicle's fitted with a tow bar, so if you wanted to be carrying a bike rack or anything like that on the back of there, small trailer maybe, then you've got that already in situ. So this van is fitted with 18-inch caliber alloys, and then coming down the side to match the black wheels, you've got the trapezoid sidebar. I do actually like the trapezoid, which I have mentioned before. Around the front, it's got some front styling. So I had no idea what styling kit that is, but as you can see there, it's got a front styling kit, front splitter, and yeah, it actually looks rather nice. I do actually quite like that. I mean, this colour seems to be relatively rare. You don't actually see very many 410 reds around. So yeah, so when Kenny said that he had this, yeah, I absolutely jumped at the chance of being able to see it. So we've got LED headlights, factory LEDs, absolutely fantastic, perfect for being able to see at night, which is what you really do need to do. But I do say that because obviously the standard headlights are not particularly very good at all. So yeah, so externally, Reimo popped up roof, which we've obviously been in, we've slept in, and you've got the two-lay wind out awning on the top there. So daylight today, when the sun's beating down, maybe you might want a bit of protection, although it's actually wind protection which you're really going to be needing today. There's rather a lot of it. I am being blown around. Yeah, no idea what's really kind of going on with my hair. But the party piece. Right, let me put this camera down over there, because yeah, like I said, I forgot my tripod, and I'll show you the van's party piece. So, like I said, this van has got VB Air suspension, which is perfect if you're pulling up on a site which isn't level, although this is actually quite level, but we shall do it anyway. So I've just taken the keys out of the ignition, I've pressed the auto level, and hopefully it'll do something, even though it's practically level. There you go, we can actually see it's dropping down at the rear. So it's just dropped the rear down there. Whether it's going to be doing anything at the front, I don't know. And then on the opposite side as well, it's dropped at the rear. It looks like it's raised at the front. And yes, it will do its thing to make sure that everything is perfectly level in the van, because the last thing you obviously want is anything flying all over the place. So VB self-leveling suspension, and then you've got lots of different things on here. You can be putting it into drive mode, you can completely lower it down. Well, when I say completely, it's not air ride which you see on all these slammed vehicles and the rims are practically touching the inners, and it's not like that. It is a system which is for essentially campervans and motorhomes, so the practicality side of it is there to obviously give us that benefit of being able to be sleeping on a level surface. So yeah, so I'll go through VB air suspension in a more specific video at a later date. This is obviously just talking about this van. So what do you think about the van? What are your thoughts on it? Yeah, like I've said, these vans don't come to the market very often, and this van is for sale for £65,000. So as far as a van like this is concerned, you're looking at kind of how it's been built, what's it been built from. So you're looking at the pop top, £8,000 pop top. You know, you're looking at £8,000 for the VB air suspension. You're looking at, I don't know, £6,000 for the California bed. So if you're looking at things like that, and then you're looking at, well, most vans don't have VB air suspension, so it's already going to be £8,000 more. Most vans don't have a Reimo pop top. Most can, you know, you're probably looking at several £1,000s less than that. As far as the California bed on rails is concerned, you're normally looking at less than that. Being standard of a lithium iron phosphate battery as of this era 5 years ago, it wasn't, you know, that wasn't really quite that common. So you are looking at these vans as to what the actual detail is. You know, upgraded leather seats, DSG gearbox. You really have to be looking at that finer detail. And for £65,000 for an Ecowagon Expo Plus, I don't think it's going to be hanging around particularly too long if anybody knows what they're looking for. But yeah, let me know what you think. Is this a van that you'd like? I do actually like the Fortana red, and I do actually like those blue units, and I do absolutely love the rest of the componentry of it. But yeah, I would change them alloy wheels though. I don't particularly like those alloy wheels. But yes, it's another fantastic Ecowagon product. So yeah, so like I said, let me know what you think. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos, or perhaps the T7, which Ecowagon have done, you can have a look at those here. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you soon.